In this earth, my dear brothers and sisters, we always want to be happy. We never want pain and sufferings in our lives. But pain and sufferings do come, and when it comes, we get disappointed. But these pain and sufferings will have little impact on us if we think that this earth has not been designed to get happiness all the time. If you expect happiness throughout your lives, then there is no point coming into this earth. Because trials and afflictions will befall in our lives, and we have to worship Allah going through these hardships. And we have to remember that this is not the permanent place to live. There is something bigger than this, and that is called paradise. So we have to strive for that paradise rather than trying to gain earthly benefit. But worshipping Allah during the trials is really hard. And that's why Allah says in the Quran in Surah Baqara chapter 2 verse number 45, it says that seek help in patience and prayer. Truly it is hard, save for the humble-minded. The test might come unto us in many forms. And Allah gives a couple of examples in the Quran how He's going to test us. It's mentioned in Surah Baqara chapter 2 verse 155 to 157. It says that surely we shall try you, something with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives and crops. But give glad tidings to the steadfast, who say, when the misfortune strikes, that we are Allah's, and unto Him we are returning. Such are they on whom a blessing from the Lord, such are rightly guided. It's also mentioned in Surah Anfal, chapter 8, verse number 28, it says that your possession and the children are test for you, but with Allah is the immense reward. It's mentioned in Surah Furqan, chapter 25, verse number 20. It says that we have appointed some of you a test for others. It's mentioned in Surah Anam, chapter 6, verse number 165. It says that Allah has exalted some of you in rank above others, that He may try you. Allah will test us to see who really strive and who remain sincere at the time of calamity. Because it is obvious that we shall worship Him during our good time. But it is really difficult to be patient during the bad time. But Allah wants us to be patient when we go through some serious problems in our lives. Because these problems will not last long. But during this small period of time, Allah will find those people who are really sincere to Him. If you read the Quran, it is mentioned in Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 142, it says that, deemed ye that ye would enter paradise, when Allah knoweth not those of you who really strive and those who are steadfast? It's mentioned in Surah Muhammad, chapter 47, verse 31, it says, verily, we shall try you, till we know those of you who strive hard and those who are steadfast. It is mentioned in Ankabut, chapter 29, verse number 2 and 3 says that, do man imagine that they will be left because they say we believe and will not be tested with affliction? We tested those who were before you. Thus Allah knoweth those who are sincere and knoweth those who are vain. Allah will also test you if He wants to do good to you. It is mentioned in Surah Baqara, volume 7, hadith number 5645. And your test can be severe if you are righteous, which is mentioned in Surah Ibn Majah, volume 5, hadith number 4024. You can also be tested so that Allah can expiate your sins. If you read Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, hadith number 5648, it says that no Muslim is afflicted with any harm, even if it were the prick of a thorn, but Allah expiates his sins because of that. It's mentioned Tirmidhi, volume 4, hadith number 2396, it says that when Allah wants good for His slave, He hastens His punishment in the world, and when He wants bad for His slave, He withholds his sins from him until he appears before Him on the day of judgment. Most of the people worship Allah as long as they are happy. But when trials befall them, then they stop worshipping Allah. They just don't want any problem in their lives. So whenever any misfortune happens, they cannot accept that. And they forget their Lord during the bad time. Because they think they are obeying Allah, following His commandments and worshipping Him. But why is He doing this even though they are obedient to Him? So Allah says in the Quran in Surah Hajj, chapter 22, verse number 11, it says that among mankind is he who worshippeth Allah upon a narrow march, so that if good befalleth him, he is content therewith. But if a trial befalleth him, he falleth away utterly. He loseth both the world and the hereafter. So during the test, we should be patient, and we should not think that we shall live happily in this earth without facing any difficulties, because our dreams and expectations will be broken in this earth. And the reason is Allah is going to test us, and we should prepare ourselves for the test. And if we could do so, then we'll be able to handle the situation easily. Allah will test every individual in a different way, and not everyone's test will be the same. So Allah knows what kind of test the person needs, and the person will be tested according to his or her ability. If you read in Surah Ibn Majah, volume number 5, hadith number 4023, it says that Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, said that a person is tested according to his religious commitment. If he is steadfast in his religious commitment, then he'll be tested most severely. And if he is frail in his religious commitment, then his test will be according to his commitment. So my dear brothers and sisters, never stop worshipping Allah when you go through some hardships in life. Think in this way: how many years do we live? 50, 60, 70? So you will only feel these pain and sufferings for a couple of years. And if you be patient and worship Allah, then you'll be rewarded for that. And in paradise, there is no more test, and you live forever. But if you think that you will go to a nice university and you will have a decent job, and after that you will get married and have children and live happily with your family without having any trouble in your life, then you are making a big mistake. Because we are not only here to earn money and live happily. We are here to worship Allah. But there is no problem to think about the future. But the problem is, some people forget Allah completely and concentrate to these things. And they are so much into this that if anything goes wrong in his or her planning, then they get disappointed. And the reason for their massive disappointment is that they did not prepare themselves for the test. So it's better to make yourself ready for the test and pray to Allah to save you from the big trials.